If you've come to this video and you have some tattoos that you might regret having, or you're thinking about getting a tattoo and you want to read the experiences of people that might have regretted such decisions, then you find yourself in the correct place. Now, I'm not going to tell you that if you're watching this and you have a tattoo on your face that you don't like and you regret, that what I'm about to say is going to help you with the decision to keep it. But what I am going to tell you is that I, Evan, have been through many experiences with tattoos over the year. I had an impulsive run of years where I got loads and loads of tattoos all over my body. Well, mostly my arms and one on my arse, but we won't show you that one. And yeah, I went through a long period of regretting all of those tattoos, and I had to do a lot of healing and a lot of energetic work and a lot of understanding and a lot of acceptance with regards to being able to express my tattoos as the future me who does not exactly resonate with these tattoos anymore. And so, firstly, if you're watching this and you have not got tattoos yet, but you're watching this video because you want to see what it looks like for somebody to go through the experience of regretting a tattoo that they first got when they were younger, well then what I would tell you is this. Depending on your age, getting a tattoo is going to differ in terms of your impulse, in terms of your prefrontal cortex not being fully developed until your mid-20s or so. And yeah, you can be impulsive, you can get tattoos when you're younger because you want a tattoo and it looks cool and you want everybody to see your cool tattoo. But will that tattoo resonate with an older version of yourself? You are not 100% sure of that. So it's a difficult decision to go and get a tattoo. So what I would tell anybody before going to get a tattoo is to take your time, to think clearly. Is this tattoo for me? Is this something that I want to carry on my body for the rest of my life? A part of my history written on my body? Or am I getting this tattoo because I feel the craving for attention? I feel a desire to be seen by people. This tattoo is so other people accept me or other people think I am cool. So if you sit down, you write all those questions down for yourself and you start to contemplate, wow, is this tattoo even for myself? Do I crave attention? Is that all this is? Do I need to go find other means of getting attention? Is this something that I'd love to honor on my skin for the rest of my life? And it should make it easier to make that decision. Now, for me, let me give you a little synopsis of my journey before I give you some tips with regards to the healing process of accepting what it is that you now have on your body. If you are somebody that's watching this video and you have tattoos that you might regret and you're thinking about getting them covered up, well then maybe I can change your mind. But if you do want to go and get them covered up, I'm not judging. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. So if you go and get your tattoos covered up, then you're supposed to get your tattoos covered up. But before you go and do that, listen to my story. So I had a brain tumor. Most of my videos are related to healing and my brain tumor experience. And this video, whilst it might seem like it's very random, it's actually very much regarding the experience that I went through while I had a brain tumor, most certainly while I hadn't a brain tumor after my surgery. So, while I was ill, I had to sit in my room for many years in a small town where I grew up in, and we were trying to fundraise a lot of money to get help for me to remove that tumor. So I had to put posters of myself up all over this small town. I had to put up loads of social media posts about it. And very quickly, every single person in that town knew that I was the sick boy. I was the guy locked in his room with the brain tumor. And for me, that experience was humiliating. It was very shameful. It was very sad and very isolating. And I had no awareness as to what these feelings were doing to my nervous system and what they were doing to me and how that would dictate my future. I was just running with the trauma for a very long time. So when I went and got my brain surgery and survived, I didn't have any tattoos except my arse one, which I got when I was on a holiday when I was 18. But actually, I love that too, and I won't show anybody that unless it happens by an accident someday. And so I finished my surgery. I spent a couple of months in the initial phases of my recovery process. And as soon as I became healthy enough to leave my house again, I wanted to catch up with life. So I started to, try and get back to the life of a man in his younger 20s, drinking, taking drugs, which was absolutely not needed. And if you are somebody who's recovering from brain surgery, heed my advice. Do not go rushing into chemicals because, the trauma is trapped within your body and it's filling up. The jar is probably overflowing at this point and it can dictate your everyday actions. And that's what happened to me. So I went on a rampant drug and alcohol fueled lifestyle choice for some time to avoid looking into the jar of trauma, and so I would use anything in my power to distract myself from trauma, including tattoos. And so the reason why I have all of these tattoos on my arms, and nowhere else, by the way, I just filled up my arms as quick as I could. All of these tattoos were gotten within a couple of months period by the same guy. And what I was doing was I was getting drunk, and I was going in there and I was getting random tattoos on my arms. And at the time, they all felt amazing. It felt really nice to have tattoos, and I loved how everybody was responding to my tattoos, and that was fantastic. And this went on for a long time. I really enjoyed my tattoos. I enjoyed how different they made me look. I enjoyed how people perceived them and how people wanted to talk about them and look at me, and that's great. And I was in my early 20s and I have all of these ridiculously weird tattoos on my arms, so it was easy to explain those things. But as time went on, I became very insecure with regards to having all of these tattoos on my arms, which I no longer resonated with. I do resonate with all of them now, and I did with some of them anyway. But most certainly, I've had some very strange ones. So what I was doing was going in, getting a random tattoo on my arm. I started off with these ones here. I have like some yin and yang stuff. It's really cool. It was all based around my brain tumor and what I was doing to try and survive. And I got some strange ones then on the other side, and then I got a big monkey on my arm, which was really strange. And then I got loads of music icons that I was following at the time that also are bobbleheads, and they're all using drugs and alcohol, and they're all dead actually. They were in the 27 Club, most of them. And yeah, all of those things felt reasonable at the time and rational, but as I became older and older in life, it became more difficult to resonate with all of these tattoos, and I actually started to become ashamed of them. I started to hide my arms. I started to put on longer sleeve tops even in the depths of the summer while I was blisteringly hot, so nobody could see my tattoos because I was embarrassed by them and I was ashamed by them, and they were making me feel really sad, and I was not able to accept my own arms, which is such a difficult place to be when you're a human. You're walking around town and you don't want anyone to see your arms, two of your most prized objects that you want to be revealing to the sun. And yeah, it took me a very long time to deal with that. So eventually I would have to sit with these feelings. Once I started to really dive into healing and dive into trauma and dive into digesting experience, I started to try to unlock all of these feelings that were coming behind the shame and the guilt and the resentment for my own tattoos. And I started to recognize that while I was coming out of that brain surgery and while I felt so isolated and so sad, and I knew that everybody in my small town just wanted to, or not wanted to, but just recognized that I was the sick boy, and I didn't want to be that boy anymore. I didn't want to be the sick person, so I wanted to be different. I wanted to feel seen, and I wanted attention because I was stuck in my room for 2 years and I was the sick boy. I wanted to shout from the rooftops, tell everybody that I'm okay. So I went and got all these crazy tattoos on my arm with the intention that now people would see me. People would look at me. People would see me. Oh my God, he's got cool tattoos. Not, oh my God, there's the brain surgery guy. And thus I filled up my arms with a bunch of tattoos that I'd no longer resonate with as such. Now, I'll go into that in deeper in a few minutes. But essentially, to break it down, I wanted to feel seen. I also wanted to honor some of the musicians that made me feel seen while I was sick, because most of these people who sang these songs were probably the only people that were able to resonate with the depths that I was feeling while I was ill. And so I honored them by putting on them on my arms. And here's the thing, right? Eventually, I had to look in. I had to look at all these feelings, and I had to try to understand why it is that I got these tattoos. And so now I've just explained to you why it was that I got these tattoos. I felt a craving for attention. I felt that I was different. I felt different than everybody else. So I wanted to express that difference by getting tattoos that were very abstract, that nobody else would have, and coming up with all these original ideas, bar one or two that I had to manipulate slightly just to make sure they were original. But eventually I wanted to embrace them. I didn't want to hide my arms in the summertime. I didn't want to hide a part of myself from people. So I had to begin to try and accept these things. And here's the tips. Here's the tips for you. If you are sitting there and you've got tattoos that you're embarrassed about or that you regret and that you don't want people to see, just understand that what you fear now is judgment. you fear the opinions of others, and that's very normal. We all have those insecurities within us. We live in a societal model that would make us judge one another consistently, looking at the algorithms anyway. And here's another tip. So obviously the fear of judgment will dissolve in time, but one of the most beautiful things that I've come up with along my journey of trying to accept my own tattoos and accept myself is that these tattoos are history written on your body. They are a time capsule into a time of your life that you can connect with and that you can heal. And they're also a part of you. They are art that is representing a younger version of yourself. And so all of these wacky tattoos that I have all over my arms are not mine. They are tattoos that were belonging to a younger version of myself. And for me to hide them, for me to want to cover them up, in my opinion, means me pushing away younger versions of myself, younger parts of myself. So instead of that, I chose and choose to honor them, to honor those younger versions of myself that got these tattoos because they were very much needed at the time. Now, do I still think they look really strange and wacky on a 33-year-old male? Absolutely. Do I care? No, not at all. They're absolutely amazing. And every time I look at them, I'm brought straight back into a time capsule, into the older version of myself, and I get to connect with him and think, wow, man, you were just a fucking nut job. You're crazy. But it is what it is now. And we have these ink markers of our past on our flesh. And I think that that's an okay experience to deal with for me, and I think that it can be for you too. And so what I would do if I was you is I would sit with that idea. I wouldn't be rushing to get them covered up. Now, like I said in the beginning, if you do feel like you want to get them covered up, absolutely go and get them covered up. It's not going to be you shunning the past version of yourself, but I would tell the past version of yourself that you love him or her and that it's okay. You just want to get them covered up so that you feel better in the future, and so on and so forth. But if you can honor that version of yourself, it will help you to accept yourself as a whole. You know, if we can't accept the tattoos on our arms, can we accept ourselves? Can we accept ourselves intimately and deeply and for everything that we are? And so, yes, these are tattoos, but they're also just an extension of insecurity in general. And so to build confidence within ourselves will help us. And accepting our tattoos and accepting that these are past versions of ourselves will most certainly help us along that path to building confidence. And yeah, I'm going to work now, so I just wanted to get that out there. I hope this helped. And if you have any more questions, please do ask. I don't recall me needing to talk about anything else. Actually, do you know what? Let me just check my phone for 2 ticks, because I did have some headings prepared. Let me see. So we have intro. Yeah, before you get a tattoo, yeah, my journey, accepting, honouring yourself, dissolving the fear of judgment, that's cool, and how it helps you to accept all aspects of yourself. Wow, we just did it all, guys and girls. So I need to go to work, and I left my charger at home, and I'm in a bit of a rush. So I'm going to leave you all to it. I hope this helped you in terms of your tattoo journey. It certainly helped me. I'll see you on the next one.